everyone. I'm Melissa here, and welcome to your Melissa Moment. Hello, everyone. I'm Melissa here. Welcome to your Melissa Moment, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. You guys, I apologize. I should have done this video a little bit ago. Today, we're talking about my midpoint strength training session. If you're new here, hi, welcome to my channel. We talk about all things on my channel, but today we're talking specifically about strength training. I have been strength training for about 3 years now. It's really turned into something that I enjoy, and I never in my wildest dreams thought I would be a person that said they enjoy powerlifting, but I really do. Now, in those 3 years, I've been consistently going to the same gym, but my trainer has changed, as well as our group class participants have changed over those 3 years. So there's been some different things that I've had to kind of adjust to. If you don't know me, I don't want to say I have a problem with change, but it does take me a while to be able to adapt to changes. When I find something that works for me or that I like, I have a really hard time when it changes, because I finally found something that works or that I like, and then it changes, and then my whole world falls apart, and it can take a little bit for me to get on board and find, a new way to that path. So, this strength training session, and I call them sessions because even though I have been doing strength training for 3 years consistently, the gym I go to, they usually do the strength training in sessions, and they're usually about 3 months at a time. There isn't typically a break in between the sessions. There might be like a week at most, but it kind of just goes right into the next session. So it doesn't really stop. It's just a new session. With the exception of December, they usually don't do any classes in December, as well as the summer can look different. Sometimes they do strength training throughout the summer. Sometimes they just do drop-in throughout the summer. It can be different. But for the most part, I've been consistently doing strength training for 3 years now. So what I like to do is I like to take my weights and my measurements at the beginning of the strength training session, and then I like to do a midpoint check-in on the weight and the inches, and then I usually do an end of session check-in with the weight and the inches. So I did take my weight and inches quite a while ago. I shouldn't say quite a while ago. We're probably at about a month ago now, and I should have shared this video earlier. I apologize that I'm a little late to the ball game. Life has just gotten chaotic for me, so things are a little behind, but we're doing our best to catch up. That is why I went today and got a coffee. If you are a Starbucks fan, I just tried their new cherry chai latte, iced cherry chai latte. It is very good. I'm quite enjoying it. So I kind of was feeling a bit overwhelmed these past couple weeks because everything has just exploded and it's gotten crazy. And not just for me, but for my husband as well. He's also has so much work to do, and that can feel really overwhelming. And I feel that it's even more difficult when your spouse is also feeling very overwhelmed with work, because you're both just drained. So by the time the end of the day happens, which doesn't really happen in our house, but when the end of the day typically happens at 5, 6 o'clock, usually your partner comes home and one of you is usually had an okay day where you can listen to the other partner's frustrations and struggles, and you can kind of be that support for them. But when you're both having a very chaotic day and are overworked and stressed, when you get in the same environment, like neither one of you can be there for each other. And then that can create even more issues. So it's been very hectic, very chaotic with work and just home life in the last couple weeks. And today I kind of was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the day to have a treat and take some deep breaths and just bring it down. Bring the energy level down. Because honestly, at the end of the day, none of it matters. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter. And sometimes you just need to take a break, and that's okay. And that's what I'm doing today. Now, I say that, but I do have meetings and appointments today that I can't take a break from. So I am technically still working today. I'm just slowing it down and going at a little bit more of a leisurely kind of pace, which sometimes you got to do, right? Let's get into the measurements. You know, I've talked before about fitness, nutrition, weight training, weight loss, quite a bit on my channel. And let me first start by saying, if you're new, this is important. I am not a registered doctor, dietitian, nutritionist, trainer. I'm none of those things. Okay, this is purely based on my personal experience, which is probably quite different than most people. So just some background on me. I have had bariatric surgery. I am over 40. I have a thyroid condition. I have issues with hypoglycemia. And what is supposed to work for most people doesn't typically work for me. So I've had a lot of struggles and mental blocks with weight loss and strength and overall health for years. And it can be very difficult. I am a person that really looks at the number on the scale. And that's not typically a healthy thing to do. We are learning that the number on the scale doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. You know, it used to be, oh, if you're over this weight, you're fat. If you're under this weight, you're underweight. You know, that used to be how it is. But now, you know, research and stuff is starting to show that just because you're over 200 pounds doesn't necessarily mean you're fat. You could be very strong and fit and healthy. And because you have so much muscle mass, you're weighing a lot more. As we know, muscle does weigh more than fat, but it's hard when you step on a scale and it gives you just a number to determine what that number actually means. Is that number related to muscle? Is that number related to fat? Is it a combination? There's really no way to know, you know, unless you get a really high-tech scale and start getting a lot of, you know, different things that you look at and try to calculate different things and all that. And I am not well trained in any of that. So I still struggle. So I'm going to go over, I take a lot of measurements, probably more than the average person, I would say, just because I kind of like an overall picture. There's probably more measurements I could take, but this is what I've been doing consistently for a while now. Now, I'm going to give you the measurement I took, and then I'm going to tell you what it was in the beginning of strength training and then what it is now. So we're looking at about 2 months. Okay, this is about 2 months difference. I start with my neck measurements. I know not a lot of people do neck measurements, but I do. I don't know why. When I started, my neck was 12 inches. And halfway through, or a little more than halfway, it is still 12 inches. Now, I don't know, is that a good neck size? I don't know. I will tell you, I've increased in my neck. Back in like 2023, I was 11 and a half inches. So I've gained half an inch in my neck. Now, my first reaction to that is, oh my God, I'm putting on weight again. But I don't think I am. I think I'm gaining tone or muscle in my neck. I don't know if that's possible. I mean, it's obviously possible. But and the reason I say that is if you look at my neck, you can see definition. Like when I turn my head, you can see a lot of definition. So I feel like that's right from the strength training. Now I could be wrong. Maybe you're watching this and you're laughing at me. That's fine. To each their own. So that was my neck measurement. My next measurement I do is upper chest. I don't know what to call it. Basically, I go underneath my armpits across. So here, I call it upper chest. I don't know if that's right or not. And I go, of course, all the way around. When I started, I was 37 inches. I'm now at 36 inches. So I've lost an inch on the upper chest. Okay? The chest itself, so right around the largest part of my bust. When I started, I was 43 inches. Now I'm 41. So I've lost 2 inches off of my chest. Under chest. This is like right underneath, I can't see, right underneath your breasts or where your bottom of your bra band would be. That's this measurement. I was 32 inches when we started. I'm still 32 inches, so that stayed the same. My waist, so right around the belly button, okay? When we started, I was 42 inches. Now I'm 40, so that's 2 inches. Hips, okay? So the largest part of your hips. When we started, I was 45.5. I'm now 46, so I gained 1/2 an inch in the hip area. I can't explain that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I will say I find when I do gain weight, it's typically in the hip area first and the waist area. So I don't know. My calves, my right and left were they were different in the beginning. Right calf was 16 inches in the beginning. Now it's 15.5. And left calf was 16.5 in the beginning. And now it's 15.5. So I did lose inches off my calves. It's quite common that your right and left are different. So that's not uncommon. My right and left bicep. Now, I always talk about how this is difficult because I am a post-bariatric patient. I do have a lot of loose skin, and the place where you see it the most, and it's so aggravating for me, is in my arms. I have a lot of loose skin there. If you're easily offended, look away or fast forward the video because I'm going to show you my loose skin, okay? So it's my arms. You can see all of this is loose. It's horrible. Like when I do, you can start to see some definition in here in my muscles. You can start to see it, but this is just, there's nothing I can do about that. So when I measure my bicep, okay, I never know how to measure my bicep because of the loose skin. Do I just put it loosely around and measure all of it? Or do I want to like go super tight because technically this is just loose skin that's going to be there forever? So sometimes I take 2 measurements. I take a loose measurement and a tight measurement. I've started just taking a tight measurement because I feel like this shouldn't count. Do you know what I mean? The only way I'm ever going to get rid of this is with surgery. That's the only way this is ever going to get taken care of. They're literally going to go from here and slice right along this definition, this line. They're going to slice right in there and they're going to remove this and they're going to leave me with that. But I am starting to get some definition in here. It's not a lot, but it's starting. So I took a tight measurement of my biceps. When we started, my right was 13.5. My left was the same. Now they're 12.5. So I have lost about an inch off of both biceps. My thighs, right thigh and left thigh, again, I try to go around the largest part of the thigh, which is kind of halfway, a little bit higher up. When we started, my right thigh was 26, my left was 25 and a half, and now they're both coming in at 23 and a half. So we did lose quite a bit of inches off of those thighs, which is a good thing. Now the weight. This, I almost don't ever want to look at the weight anymore because I feel like it's not accurate. When we started, I weighed in at 208 pounds, and halfway through, we were 206.2. So you would be like, oh, you've lost weight. That's great. My weight fluctuates so much. I don't know why it fluctuates as much as it does, but it's insane. It's not uncommon for me to gain or lose 3 to 4 pounds overnight. I can't explain it. It is weird. Also, TMI, if I have my monthly period, my weight usually increases, which is quite common for most women. Mine increases up to 5 pounds just because I have my period. It's ridiculous. So when I took these measurements, 206.2 was my weight. However, let me tell you what it was today. And this is frustrating because I used to weigh 195. Not that long ago. Like a year ago. 195. The weight is going up, which in my mental brain angers me because that's not the way I want it to go. But realistically, I know it could be not in a bad way that my weight is going up. It could be because I'm getting stronger and I'm getting more toned. It's hard to know. Sorry guys, I gotta find this app. So, where's my app? I do have an app. So it's really hard for my brain to wrap things around. So for example, today, are we on? Yeah. I actually came in at 209.4. So I've gained a lot since I weigh more today than I did at the beginning of strength training. Because at the beginning I was 208. Halfway through I was 206. Now I'm 209. Okay. Now what's interesting is yesterday's weight, I was 212. So I lost 3 pounds overnight. Maybe tomorrow I'll gain 4 pounds. Like there doesn't ever seem to be a rhyme or reason when it comes to my weight anymore. And that can be really frustrating, especially when you feel like you're working really hard. You're doing everything you can. I'm limiting my treats. Like, yeah, I got a Starbucks today. I know this is full of sugar and calories. I get it. You don't have to tell me in the comments. I'm aware. I've also drastically cut down my Starbucks intake. I was going to Starbucks daily in 2024. Now I'm trying to limit it to like once a week. And yes, that's still a lot. That's still 4 times a month. I get it. But it's not 30 times a month. So that is a drastic decrease in how often I go. I'm also working with a naturopath. I'm also working with a dietitian now, trying to get my eating to be better and cleaner and more high protein and all of that jazz. But like I said, I've got a lot of balls to juggle here. I've got the post-bariatric side of things where you have to follow those rules. You're only allowed to have a certain amount of food and you have to stick to like higher protein, low carb, low sugar. But then I also have my hypoglycemia aspect where I get low blood sugar. So I got to make sure that I'm eating frequently enough to maintain my blood sugar throughout the day. I also have my thyroid condition, which that likes to mess with things. And don't forget, I'm a woman over 40 who could be very close, if not in perimenopause, which also just throws everything out of whack and nothing makes sense. So I got a lot of things against me. I got a lot of things that just not great. Mentally, I'm struggling with the whole thing. I'm doing my best. I'm trying to make smart choices. Every time I eat or drink something, I'm trying to keep track of things. I'm trying to work with the right people. I know what my goal is. I'm trying to stay on path to get to that goal. It's definitely not helping, or it's not happening in the time frame that I want it to. And I'm also trying to give myself kindness and patience with that. We know that weight loss and being healthy is not a linear line. It's not. It's not like we're going from point A to point B. We're going like this, we're going like this, we're going like this. We might go like this for a while, but then we're right back up on that roller coaster. So instead of it taking 3 months, because we're going like this, it might take us 12 months. It might take us longer. It's hard to know. All you can do is continue to be consistent, continue to make smart choices, better choices. Occasionally, have a treat, have a celebration. Maybe instead of having a slice of birthday cake, have half a slice of birthday cake. Share it with someone. There's a lot of things you can do to help you not go like this off your path. Maybe you just do a little bit of we're going toward the edge of the path, but we're still on it. Instead of completely going off, getting lost in the woods for days, months, and then finding your path again. So that's all I can do. Trying to give myself, like I said, that patience and that kindness is probably the hardest thing out of everything. But we're working on it one day at a time. And honestly, the only person that this is really affecting is me, right? Everyone's always so worried about, what are other people going to think about me? What are other people going to say about me if they start realizing, I'm gaining weight again? Are they going to start talking about me? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they think about you, what they say about you. It doesn't matter. All that matters is yourself. And that can also take a while to learn and to accept and to understand. But we're getting there. So this is what I would call the midway check-in with my strength training. We have about, like I said, at this point, I think we have about another month of this session. So I probably will be coming back with a quick little update. It'll be quick though, because I do not foresee these numbers changing drastically in the next month. But we'll see. And then we're going to start again with the next session. And that should take us right up until summertime. And then we'll have to see what happens throughout the summertime. But it'll be interesting. So that's it for today's Wellness Wednesday. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Let me know if you are doing strength training, if you're interested in it, if you go to the gym. If you don't, that's okay. Everyone's different. But let me know your thoughts on things. And as always, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.